Appreciate everybody taking the time to come and view the presentation today. So American Pacific completed a transformative transaction in June of last year. We picked up the Madison mine. It's a primarily gold copper, but we think it's going to come into a porphyry system, which could add a significant amount of silver at that time, and I'll touch on that in a second. But it's an asset that's under joint venture with Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto may spend up to $30 million US to earn 70% of the project, and it's based down in Montana. We have two other projects that are both based in Nevada. Those also have partners on them. One of those is the Gooseberry mine, a past producing silver mine, last touched in 1994, that we're incredibly excited about. We're going to see that drilled in Q2 of this year. And then Tuscarora, which is a high grade epithermal system just outside of Elko, Nevada. I'm partnered with Eric Saderholm. He is the former head of exploration in the Western U.S. from Newmont. So hence the focus down in the Western U.S., leaning on Eric's expertise. Here's our corporate structure: 65 million shares out, $1.5 million in cash, $2 million in securities, and then $6.1 million of warrants. They're just out of the money at 20 cents. We've got a monthly burn rate of about $100,000 a month. But don't let that monthly burn rate fool you. We'll have somewhere in and around $10 million worth of drilling this year, as all funded by our partners. The Madison Gold Copper Project. I said off the top that we focused on high-grade assets in the Western US, and this certainly fits the bill. This was last in production between 2008 and 2012, when it produced 2.7 million pounds of copper, with grades ranging between 20 and 35% copper. They also included 7,570 ounces of gold at an average of 16.1 grams per ton gold. And that's all from the skarn at surface. So why is Rio Tinto there? Well, yes, they're interested in the skarn, but most importantly, they're also interested in the porphyry down below. This was drilled in 2018, and I'll show you some core as to what the porphyry looks like. But the analogy here is to the Butte mine. And the Butte mine produced 21 billion pounds of copper, 715 million ounces of silver, and 2.9 million ounces of gold. I'll draw your attention to that silver number because that's most of what most of you are probably here for today. I certainly understand the power of silver. I was lucky enough to work on Fortuna Silver from when it was a shell. It was a $10 million company then. It's almost a $2 billion company now, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Here's the location. Silver Star, you can see that gold star at the bottom. If you took your family to Montana, you would not take them to Silver Star for a vacation. It is definitely a mining portion, definitely a mining town. If you fly into Montana, you'd likely fly into Butte, which you'll see to the north of the screen there, and that's about an hour from our location. So, previous high-grade drill assays: 30 meters of 25 grams per ton gold, 11 meters of 41 grams per ton gold, 4.6 meters of 82 grams per ton gold, 7 meters of 25 grams per ton gold, and 14 meters of 12 grams per ton gold. And then the copper numbers: 61 meters of almost 7% copper, 8.5 meters of 40% copper, 84 meters of just under 2% copper, and then 2.7 meters of 41 grams per ton gold and almost 20% copper. This is certainly what got our interest, and initially got the interest from Rio Tinto as well. The feeling is if the skarn is carrying that good of grade, there's a pulse underneath that's creating that and pushing those fluids upward. Here's the terms of the JV with Rio Tinto. Again, they can spend up to $30 million US to earn up to 70% of the project. And ultimately, we believe that owning 30% of a Rio Tinto style target could be a tremendous win for American Pacific shareholders. Reservoir Minerals is probably the best example that we can point to. That was an epithermal system at surface that turned into a porphyry underneath. Reservoir owned 30% of that, and they ended up selling to their partner Nevson for $360 million US. I'll take you guys for a tour of the underground here now. I'll ask the guys to play the video. I think this is a good thing to see. It'll give you a good feeling for what this looks like in an underground setting.
American Pacific Mining Corporation presents the Madison Copper Gold Project in the U.S. It's located 1.7 miles west of Highway 41 in Madison County, Montana, and the project covers an area totaling 2,514 acres. It's situated along the south flank of the Radar Creek Pluton, which is a tertiary Cretaceous-aged intrusive rock. A total of 163 drill holes have been completed at the project, totaling 77,420 feet of surface and underground drilling. The drilling area includes 3,000 feet of underground workings to a depth of 215 feet. 2019 drilling by Rio Tinto is highlighted in red, showing copper grades greater than 1%. Green and red 3D interpretations of high-grade copper and gold zones are shown, respectively. The first cross-section here highlights the location of drill hole MADN 0013, encountering gold and copper mineralization 112 meters down plunge of the 3D modeled mineralization. The interval is found in skarn-related sulfides, which are chemically controlled and therefore can have broad lateral and depth extent as long as the metal-bearing solutions and receptive host rocks are present. Now we take a look at a cross-section highlighting the location of drill hole MADN 0011, which intersected gold and copper mineralization 43 meters down dip of the current 3D mineralization model. This intercept is hosted in skarn-style alteration and also contains anomalous silver values. Before moving on to the next cross-section, we present the gold assays in the drill core, showing grades greater than 15 grams per ton. We continue on to a cross-section highlighting the location of drill hole MADN 0010, which encountered copper and gold mineralization 108 meters lateral to known mineralization. Based on the geometry, this intersection could represent either a lateral extension of modeled sulfide mineralization or a separate body of skarn mineralization that has no surface expression. Now we move in to show the underground workings and highlighting underground drill holes UG1705 and UG1706, both drilled in 2017, intersecting gold mineralization between the historic Broadway mine workings and the more recent workings. The historic Broadway mine produced 144,000 ounces of gold, averaging 9 grams per ton. Drill hole C0506 in 2005 also encountered skarn-related gold and copper mineralization. Stepping back out to the drilling area, drill hole 866 is highlighted as an early-stage hole drilled in 1986, which helped establish this skarn mineral system as having a substantial gold-rich component within its mineralization history. Moving around to a final view highlighting drill hole C0608, which intersected significant copper and gold grades as well, further presenting the significant opportunities for near-mine exploration and development work for American Pacific Mining at the Madison project. From 2008 to 2012, the Madison mine sold over 2.6 million pounds of copper with grades ranging from 20 to 35%, in addition to 7,570 ounces of gold at an average grade of 16.1 grams per ton. These mined out areas are highlighted here by the black 3D solids in the model. This presentation is brought to you by American Pacific Mining Corporation. Thanks for watching.
I like showing that because I think it gives you a good idea, seeing it underground and getting a good feel for what's happening. Here are the three different rock types that occur at the Madison mine. So you get jasperoid, native copper, and massive sulfide. Rio Tinto is in the process of relogging core from 2018 right now and redesigning that 3D model. So all these rock types will be incorporated into it. Here's some drilling from 2017 when they initially got into the porphyry. So this is the late type porphyry. You can see all the chaotic folding there as well. This is the jasperoid on the right and the skarn on the left. This is typically what's carried the grade in the past and accounted for a lot of the previous production. Now, Gooseberry. Gooseberry is a past producing silver mine just outside of Reno. We've got a joint venture on this as well, a company called GRAC Global that is going public in Q1 of this year, and we'll drill this in the beginning of Q2. We will be the operators of this. They have to spend $4.5 million in order to earn 80% of the project, along with completing a feasibility study. When we picked this up, we actually picked this up for staking costs. It was a bit of a coup to get, and we had to track down the old data. We tracked down 12 old bankers' boxes of data at the University of Nevada, Reno. And what we found, we were very pleased with. What you can see on the screen is a couple of the old mining stopes. that we have recreated and now put into a 3D model, but it gives you an idea in terms of the grade and the production grades previously. So from the map on the left, you can see 0.91 meters is 65 grams per ton gold and 4,500 grams per ton silver. And then off to the right, 0.9 meters, 113 grams per ton gold and 3,700 grams per ton silver. So spectacular silver grades, great gold grades as well. We're very excited to get drilling on this project. Here's a couple of the samples. Another one sitting on my desk as well. Give you an idea of what it looks like when you're underground. There is a geologic model, a 3D model that is on the website. If you're interested in take a look, we're the very first people to put together a 3D model on the project. And there's a historic long section there as well, which basically shows what they referred to as reserves that were left there. We won't call them reserves today, but they called them reserves then. And those will be some of the targets that we go after when we start drilling in Q2. Tuscarora, high-grade epithermal system just outside of Elko, Nevada. Again, we have a deal on this with a company called Saldera. They're going to drill this in Q1 of this year. High-grade epithermal system. Here's a list of some of the grades that have been drilled previously. So again, spectacular grades, 4.5 meters of 127 grams per ton gold, etc. I'll take you through some of these quickly in the interest of time. 2020 milestones. So we closed the transaction with Madison. We completed a $3 million financing with the help of the Casey Research Group, announced 14 drill holes from Rio Tinto. Rio drilled again in 2020. We've released 3 of those holes with 5 of them pending. We're reporting upcoming drilling from them in about 2 weeks' time. We'll put out their program for 2021. And then upcoming drilling for us at Tuscarora and at Gooseberry as well. I've touched on a little bit about myself and a little bit about Eric. Ken Cunningham also sits on the board. He previously ran Miranda Gold and did an excellent job with them. He's been a tremendous director for us. And then Jonas Lang. Jonas Lang was with Riverside Resources, a company that I helped put together back in 2008, I believe it was. And now he works at Maple Gold and did an excellent job helping them bring in Agnico Eagle recently. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much and look forward to questions at the end.